Ben Shapiro was right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Quam Teasy with Brooklyn Bridge Media, and that's Fire Podcast. Yeah, this is the podcast where we talk about everything from politics to pop culture and everything in between, and what the Word of God has to say about it, and how we should be thinking about these things and come to our conclusions. We talk about it all. The big thing that everybody's talking about, that everybody's dealing with, that's online, is amfest and the blowout and the fallout and the effects and all of that. The fireworks started on day one. Now, many of y'all, so we're gonna go through this. So, the big thing that everybody was talking about was the first night when Ben Shapiro came out and totally went scorched earth on certain people in the media, and then Candace Owens, her response to it, and literally that night, 2 speakers later, Tucker Carlson came out on stage. So there was fisticuffs going, verbal fisticuffs going, fireworks shooting off. The whole crowd's hair was blown back. They were like, "Oh, what are we seeing?" I mean, I literally saw someone that I knew that it affected him so badly. You know, the back and forth. You know, Steve Bannon and all that. The back and forth that was happening was affecting people so much that some people were behind it 100%. Some people were crying about it. But listen, Ben Shapiro, I don't really rock with Ben like that. I'm not a Ben Shapiro fan. He usually gets on my nerves. You know, we have the same conservative beliefs and all that, but the way he delivers things, how he moves, how he does things can be a little weaselly to me. I don't really like him that much. But on this instance, what he was saying here was absolutely true. Now, I'm not going to go and put clips up of the video because I don't want it to be taken down, but we're going to go through it and I'm going to let you know what he really was talking about in the beginning of and we'll contrast it against what Candace said and how she responded to it, which basically proved what he was saying, right? So Ben Shapiro gets up and he starts his normal, talk, saying he's honored to be there, and Erica Kirk is a great example of an American hero, Charlie Kirk, blah, 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 and all that. Then he goes into how we are in a dire time as conservatives because we are in danger, not only in danger from the left, but danger from some of those who say they're on the team, those who are in the media who say they're on the team. And how can we discern between those who are really fighting for the team, whether they have, same, opinions or not? Or how do we define between them and those who are grifting off of the movement? So what does he do? He gives us 5 ways, 5 parameters to look through to see how we can judge. We, the people, can judge the pundits that are talking to us, and how we can figure out whether or not we should listen to them or not. And then he goes in. So the first one he says is that he tells them he's saying these are the 5 things that each person that is a pundit is obligated to do in order to be listened to. They should, number 1, they should be telling the truth and not being vague. They should not give out vague ideas without any answers, and they shouldn't be trafficking in generalities. There's a quote that he said, we should not traffic in generality. We should not say things like they shot Charlie without specifying who they are. And he's right. He's right about that. We should not be listening to people who use words like they did this or I feel like they did that, and then never pinpoint and say, I believe this person did this. Because what you're doing is you are introducing doubt, and you are accusing without naming names, so it gives you plausible deniability. When everybody is taking the hints that you're giving and following the crumbs that you're dropping, but then when people call you out on it, then you can say, I never said that. I never said that. That is the point of being vague and general. And Ben says we shouldn't be listening to people like that. And I agree. The second thing it says that we need to be honest about what people say and do, regardless of what friends we have, regardless of who we like or not. So this is where he was attacking Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly for not calling Candace Owens out on her BS, on her the way that she has been going about talking about this issue with Charlie, where she's being vague and taking bits and pieces of evidences here, and then trying to infer certain things without going all the way with it, the coward way of doing things, right? And so he calls them out on that, and he says that they're cowardly for doing that. Nowhere in here so far, in these things that he's saying, nowhere in here does Ben say that anybody should be deplatformed or that anybody should be canceled. He said that they should be called out. That's different than being canceled. All y'all out there that are trying to say that Ben was saying everybody should be canceled and he's doing what the left does and he's whining and crying, you didn't listen to the speech, or you purposefully are ignoring what he had to say because you are blinded by your own opinion masquerading as fact, and it's not. Number 3, he says, we are responsible for who we platform going after when he was going after Nick Fuentes, the people that have platformed or interviewed him or didn't push Nick Fuentes on his nonsense, on his evil, disgusting opinions, that he's an actual racist, that these people like Tucker and others did not push him like they would push other people for that, and that's cowardly. He was saying that was cowardly. So what he does, Ben Shapiro this whole time is accusing Candace of implicating everyone at TPUSA, including Erica Kirk, of being complicit with Charlie's murder. And you see that she did it again on Pierce Morgan. She said it right there, and then when Pierce Morgan pushed her, she denied that she even said it. Like, you could rewind the tape seconds earlier. And the word complicit means that you have a part in someone's murder. And it's a perfect example of her trying to say things and not say them, and backtrack out of them. I believe this is what's happening, and I believe this is what could have happened, and I don't know. I know, but I know. I don't know, but I know, right? Like, all those things are not factual, and it plays to people's emotions, and it plays to people's natural bent to be cynical and critical to a fault. And so if she is going to implicate people, she needs to say names and stand on her 10 toes down, stand on her business and say, I believe Charlie Kirk had his TPUSA people, including Erica, involved in his murder. She should say that instead of just pushing the idea and letting you come to that conclusion. And then when you're called on it, she can say, oh, I never said that. That's exactly what she does. So number 3, he says we should be responsible for who we platform, talking about Nick Fuentes. Number 4, he said we need to provide evidence, not just ask questions. That's the big, word now. I'm just asking questions. We're just asking. You don't tell me I can't ask questions. Nobody is saying that people who believe this stuff can't ask questions. Nobody has ever said that. The point is, though, is that the questions that they're asking, the way that they're asking them is not just asking questions. It's asking questions with a pointed conclusion in it that they want you to come to. And then when you say something to them, they backtrack and say, well, I'm just asking questions. No, you're not. No, you're not. We're not stupid. You're saying things and asking questions in a way that implicates people. It's doesn't provide evidence. That doesn't quote unquote asking questions is not tantamount to providing evidence for the implications that you are making. He also says we have to do more than just ask questions, and we have to seek answers. That's what people who are pundits are supposed to do, because they're here to make your life better by giving you more information. This is what Ben was saying. Nowhere in here yet still is he saying anybody should be canceled. He never says that. Then they claim to have knowledge. This is what he said. They claim to have not special knowledge that nobody else has, and then refuse to let you in on and see where they get that knowledge from. They never name names. They have secret sources. I could do the same thing. Here we go. I'm gonna do the same thing. Sources that I know that are on the inside of the government that I have, that have been for sure to tell me, have assured me that J.D. Vance is actually an alien from Mars. That is uh, provided facts. They've told me this. They saw him come in on the ship. We have text messages from the aliens to the government that were given me. Have inside sources that have told me that he actually has green skin underneath his skin, and that's why he laughs so weird. He's actually an alien. We all know this. We all know this. We're not going to be fools anymore. I'm just asking questions. See, anybody can say anything like that, and you do it enough, it sounds convincing. But there's absolutely no evidence to prove and back that up. There's only circumstantial stuff that they try to weave together and don't say it for fully and let you try to come to those conclusions. They want you to think that they think that you're dumb, and they want to be able to backtrack and be able to not be held down to their opinions. He brings up all the in order to be balanced, he says there are conspiracies. Yes, there are some, but these conspiracies that we all agree to have evidence. They have names, they have places, they have times, they have documents that everybody is privy to, like the conspiracy of COVID-19, the conspiracy of the Russian dossier, and on and on. These things are verifiable. They're not things that others are just holding the evidence and not letting it out and saying they have all this inside information and they have an inkling or they have a feeling about this, or they know but they don't know but they know, and saying all these things that are nebulous and not concrete and ruining people's lives, ruining their lives haphazardly. We can't be these kind of people that allow this to fester, this critical, cynical, everybody's a suspect but me idea, because then what that does is that causes you to fail in life. It causes you to stop moving forward and stop fighting, because then if everybody is in on the evil, then nobody's good, and that means that we've lost already. And that's exactly what the evil wants you to think. And that's why the enemy, Satan, operates that way. He never gives you the answer. He just questions the truth, wants you to question the truth to the point where it points fingers at the truth giver. That's what he did in the garden. Did God really say that if you're not going to die? He makes accusations. The Bible says that he is the accuser of the brethren. And who in this situation is doing all the accusing on all sides of every which way but loose? You know the answer to that. Then he demonstrates exactly what he's saying. So that went through, and throughout the whole video, the whole time he talked, he did not say we should cancel Candace. We should, she should be deplatformed. He never said any of that. He just said they got to be called out, which he has the right to do, and I think he should have done it. So then he takes questions. And exactly what he was saying is demonstrated. The second person that asked questions brings up this Israel thing and says, why are you not calling out and saying anything about Israel when they attacked Americans? Shouldn't it be America first? But when they attacked Americans in 1960, whatever it was, and killed a bunch of people when they attacked them in the Marine, it was some Marine attack, naval attack, and Ben Shapiro then proceeds to eviscerate this guy. Because what this guy was doing was he was insinuating that Ben Shapiro, in this instance, was ignoring Israel's foul doing. And again, this guy was suggesting that, without saying it, suggesting that Israel attacked America for nefarious reasons. Right? And Ben just goes back and says, you do know that was an accident, and that through all of the investigations, if you read all the investigations, both sides concurred that it was an accident, that it was not, they didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. It wasn't, and the reasons why, and all the reasons why. And this guy, when he said this, when Ben Shapiro said this, he said, hey, listen, there's evidence, there's lots of evidence that shows that it was an accident. The guy totally ignores that, completely ignores that, doesn't answer the question or doesn't answer what Ben says, and says, how could you, basically repeats it. When, there was an American flag on the boat and there's no way that they could have missed it. And you're just, and he just completely ignored what Ben was saying. And Ben went back to it and said, again, there's a lot, and he went through like a 5 or 6 different pieces of evidence, just rattled them off because he knew them. And this guy just completely ignored any of the answers. Ben was like, we just got to move on because you're not going to. He was like, why are you trying to conflate? So concerned about that happened 60 years ago, and what is your reasoning to try to connect that to our relationship with Israel right now? He knew the answer to that because this growing, festering idea that Israel is behind every evil is not new. It's old. It's old, and it happens over and over and over again. And it's infecting people, and it's not good. It's not good at all. That's not to say that Israel is all the way innocent about everything. But this ideology that we are seeing growing is dangerous. It's dangerous and it's unbiblical. So anyway, it just showed right there exactly what Ben is talking about, where people are attracted to salaciousness and refuse to listen to the facts, and because people are promoting and pushing questions and ideas that try to prove motive when you cannot prove motive. And he said we shouldn't do that. We can't do that because that only helps to perpetuate half-truths and then also lies. So, with that being said, Candace obviously responded. That night, so did Tucker Carlson, and he didn't really respond to what the accusations that Ben was giving, and neither did Candace. And Candace, in perfect style, when you go look at her response, listen to the entire thing if you can stomach it. She did 2 things. The first thing that she did was that she attacked Ben for his character. She didn't answer any of the accusations of her putting out falsehoods, being vague, being conspiratorial without any real evidence, going off of feelings. We don't know, but we know. I have the gut feeling. I have the sense of. She didn't answer any of that. She just talked about her relationship with Ben and how she doesn't like him because of this, what he did, and that's what he did, and this is what he did. Maybe she was trying to discredit his reliability and what he was saying, but she did not answer any of what he was, she didn't say, no, I'm not doing that, Ben. This is what I'm doing. Here's clips. Because she couldn't answer it because what he was saying was right. What he was accusing her of, you can go back and watch her videos. They're all there. It's all there. And then the second thing she did was then she proved Ben right again. She began to make vague, innuendoed accusations that Erica Kirk is lying about her relationship, that she had a relationship before Charlie with a guy that worked at Daily Wire who's an Israeli. Therefore what? Therefore meaning what? She left that out. She left that out. Just asking questions. Therefore meaning what? What are you trying to say? That's why this is so devious and evil, is that you're saying stuff without saying it. And so she did exactly what he was talking about. So guys, y'all, you can't listen to when she does this or anybody else does this. We can't pay attention to them to the point where we think that what they're saying has to be true because they're just passionate about it or because they speak with, confidence or whatever. You have to think, is everything in the Charlie Kirk situation lining up? Not right away, but I'm doing some research on it, and it's seeming like some of the issues that people have that seem to be are discrepancies. There's answers for them. I haven't gone through all of them yet, but there's an answer to why they paved over the crime scene supposedly so fast. There's an answer to that. That makes total sense. I'm going to do another video about that. There's an answer to is it possible that the bullet that pierced Charlie did not exit? Oh, there's no way that a 30-06 could. Did you research that? Did you know that there's other bullets that are shot from 30-06 that are designed to not exit the body? I did a quick lookup of it because I didn't know the difference. I didn't know. And so anyway, there's seeming to be answers to some of these things. Do we know all of it? No, we don't. But we should not be out here making accusations and in disguised as questions. That's what's going on. You're making accusations disguised as questions, and it has real world consequences. And but I will tell you this: going to Amfest, leaving Amfest, I am 1,000% confident that TPUSA is doing the right thing, and we ain't going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. It's doing great work, and it's going to continue to do great work. Most people that were there, out of the 30,000 people that were there, were positive, were talking about Jesus and the Lord and pray. I got to pray with so many people at TPUSA event. It wasn't a TPUSA faith event specifically. It was a TPUSA event. And we were all praying with each other, and, people were talking about the Lord, and, all the vendors. I mean, it was all, obviously there were some people that are probably not saved, but just to say that this is a thing that's not stopping. We're finding our feet, but it's not stopping. Make sure you like and subscribe, and go ahead and comment if you agree, if you think I'm off my rocker, or if you agree. Share this video, and make sure that you live your life by Hebrews 10:39. We are not of those who shrink back. I'll see you in the next video.